Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I know I did. So on Friday around 3 a.m. Eastern time, Scopely released a little update to Pegasus that they're in game now. The improvements are in game now. So we've updated several characters on Pegasus to make more of their mechanics usable outside of raids. These changes are live in game now. Check out these updates below and then read for a teaser, blah, 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 the Project Pegasus event, which is the spend money event to get Blue ISO 5 and Gear 18. So first we're going to start off with Iron Man Infinity War. The original special was just in raids, apply ability block for 2 turns. The updated special is outside of raids. This is going to be super nice. This is going to be actually pretty useful. Have an ability block for 2 turns. That's a pretty strong move. I know Dark Beast T4 has a 2-turn ability block. I believe Iron Man Zombie has a 2-turn ability block on his special as well. The ultimate spreads all positive effects. Essentially, it's just outside of raid now instead of just in raid. And the passive is now outside of raid as well for the max health. The max health will be pretty important. Just 30% max health. That's a lot of health, especially on newer characters that have pretty good stats. Dev notes, we updated Iron Man Infinity War by taking past his abilities, moving some mechanics to work outside of raids. So essentially, he's going to work a little bit better outside of raids. The only problem is he's still extremely slow. He's got a speed of 107. So that's just really bad in this speed meta that we have. Next is going to be Rescue. She's the one getting the rework. So the original special was apply regeneration to self and all allies. In War and Raids, apply 2 regeneration to self and all allies. Instead, in Raids, apply 2 death proof to deflect. Now it's just happening outside of Raids, and that could help a little bit. Rescue's not a terrible character. Her update's actually pretty good. I know a lot of people are wanting to take her to Dark Dimension 6 because of her tech cost. She's only 2 pieces. It's not the worst idea, but you'll see a little bit later in my recommendations for how high you should build this team, that maybe taking her to DD6 isn't the best idea. The next is the ultimate firewall. In War and Raids, apply immunity for 2 turns, and then a raids speed up. So now it's just everywhere. Again, they're just taking off these specific game mode tags, which is good. It brings more theory crafting. They need to do this more, and it's not going to break the team at all, because you'll see with Ironheart Mark II, they still didn't change anything with that, but we'll get to that. The next passive is in War, Raid, Spawn Bear yourself, Power Armor allies, Pegasus, allies for 20% of this character's max health. So remember, this is not going to work on the current tech raids, because once an enemy takes a turn, they clear all of the barrier on our team. So this is more for Incursion 2 that should be around the corner, probably beginning of next year, probably January or February. I'm shooting more towards February. And then again, it's just taking off the in raid and in War and Raid tags, which is nice. It's just different game modes. Here's Ironheart Mark II. This is the one that makes the team work essentially in raids, because of her passive. The passive is it doesn't even say it here because it wasn't updated. The passive is the speed on spawn. It gives 15% speed plus another 15% per Pegasus ally. So that's 75% speed bar on spawn, which is nuts. It's ridiculous. Like, that's how this team will survive in tech raids. The basic is 4 more Pegasus allies. I'm sorry, that was the updated basic. If the in raids, 4 more Pegasus allies gain immunity, it's outside of raid now. Again, with the special, in raids, outside of raid now. With in raids for the ultimate, it's outside of raids now. And then same thing with the passive on the armor. The point of contention that everybody was trying to get Scopely to work on was going to be the speed passive on Pegasus that adds that 75% turn bar on spawn. No one wanted that on every game mode for sure, because that would be extremely busted. But we were trying to hope that at least maybe 15% would be outside of raids, and then the other 60% would be the bonus from being in raids. But no such luck. For Darkhawk, you see his basic is just now made into crit chance to all game modes. Again, passive is updated to all game modes. This is gonna be super nice. This is a big reason why Kestrel is needing to be a raider. People are saying striker. Striker is not right on this team at all. She is a better raider, especially with her out of turn pings. If you've seen her in Cosmic Crucible Room 6, she's nasty. She hits for pings for 2 million on a Morgan Le Fay that's level 95, 7 red, 7 yellow, with defense up. Kestrel is incredibly good, and I recommend building her to Dark Dimension 6, actually. That's the only member of this team that I recommend building that high. We'll get into my building recommendations after we read what this Project Pegasus is. So this is going to be different from the testing the team event going on right now that's on for like 35 more days or whatever. This is going to be the one where you have to spend a bunch of money, essentially. There's no way around it. With all the new Pegasus recruits nearly here, it's time to begin preparing for their epic event, Project Pegasus. This upcoming mission will require the full Pegasus team with minimum gear and yellow star requirements. They're not saying it here, which is a little shady, as usual. It's been data mined. I believe it's gear 15 and 6 yellow instead of 5 yellow as before. So they're making you break out your wallets for this. But you know damn well there's going to be a lot of gear 18s in here for those Krakens that want to spend that money to get these extra rewards. Obviously, T2 level 5 ions, which I don't value as much anymore after getting Big Boy APOC. I also have like 7 or 8 tunes that are already T2 that are blue ISO 5 that aren't required for APOC. But this is going to be the big one. The mini uniques for gear tier 18 is going to be the big reason why people want to spend that money to get gear 18. And honestly, I don't even feel like people that aren't already in Dark Dimension 6 or don't have that bottleneck for gear 18 are going to be spending this much money, about $250 per tune to get them to 6 stars day one so that they can take advantage of this. But obviously take advantage of various events. Events, sure, because we're going to get a 6-star with events. Nice try, Scopely. That's real cute. Essentially, it's spend money, get your Pegasus team, hire yellow stars to get these big rewards. Makes sense. Spend money. You know the usual. So actually, we're going to go in-game now. So we're going to take a look at the Pegasus team as a whole and my building recommendations and what I feel like you guys should build the team up to. Personally, I did not do any testing. I'm not an envoy. I've heard a lot of people that tested this team. They did very well at low stars, at low levels, and at low gear. My recommendation is Kestrel to the moon, all the way up. Kestrel, Dark Dimension 6, 7/7 her, Blue ISO 5, Raider, all T4s. Take her up. She is a monster everywhere. She will not just be used in the tech raid lanes. She's going to be used in Cosmic Crucible. She is used in War. This is a prime tune. Rescue, I took to 7 red. You see, I still got to upgrade Rescue because I never did back in the day. I'm sitting on a lot of Ultimus food here. I'm going to take Rescue to 7, obviously. I don't recommend the 7 red. I did it because I just have a lot of extra gold promotion credits. If you do, it's not the worst investment just because her survivability is super important because she has that revive in raids. So Rescue staying alive means essentially your team can't die because she's got those revives. So taking her bigger is not a terrible idea. The problem is she just doesn't do damage. So stats do not affect her special because it's a 5% health steal. And then her ultimate does no damage and her basic does a little bit of damage. It's like 200% damage, which is not great. So you're not going to upgrade her for damage. You're just going to upgrade her for survivability. My recommendation for the whole team across the board is going to be level 85, gear tier 15. The reason why I say this is people were able to do incursion 1.6 on the test server with level 85 gear tier 15 Pegasus. They weren't able to auto it, but they can manual it. Now, the caveat to this is when incursion 2 comes out, you probably will have to build them more, but don't build them too big to the point where you can sim it just for the luxury of that. That's how you run out of gear. That's how you run out of resources. The reason why I'm only taking them to gear tier 15 is because I'm trying to save as many of these where is it? Does Kestrel not have any health? Cats. and as many of these as possible. And the more tunes I take to Gear Tier 16, the less of these I will have for Dark Dimension 6. So that's my recommendation right now is level 85, Gear Tier 15 across the board. So for ISOs, we got Raider on Kestrel, Healer on Rescue, Striker on Iron Man Infinity War, and then I like Raider on Darkhawk, and also Raider on Ironheart MK2. The Raiders are super important because the more vulnerables you have up, the more buffs and more damage this team does. And then with these Kestrel pings, they are going to smack. Also, if you didn't know, when people have vulnerable, they take 10% more damage. So it's just more damage output for the entire team, the more vulnerables that are out there. The reason why I want Iron Man Infinity War as Striker, because his basic does a speed bar reduction, kind of like Ghost's basic. For those of you who remember Ghost, and then also applies bleeds. Bleeds do more damage when the special applies bleeds. Bleeds do more damage when your tune is a Striker. So those are my recommendations for the Pegasus team. Don't build them too big. Test them at a lower level for the raids that you're doing. See if they work. If they don't, take them another 5 levels up. Take them another gear tier. Slow build them. Don't go crazy on them. Don't run out of resources. But what you should do is watch my video that came out on Friday that talks about the gear bottleneck and how to avoid that bottleneck as best as you can. I want you guys to have a great week. Tune into my streams on Twitch at Duelim is here. I'll be streaming on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning at about 7:45 in the morning till about 8:30 doing Crucible. That is Eastern time. And then on Friday nights, I will be streaming from 10 p.m. Eastern all the way till about 12, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern. So if you guys want to come chat with me live, please do so. It'll be a fun time. Until next time, my name's Duelim. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.